Prepare yourself for a scrolling discussion on just about anything, where critical thinking meets Ewok culture in an explosion of planet-destroying proportions. Please secure all Jawas and be prepared for full hyperspace cortex. I've got a bad feeling about this. This is Incoherent Ramblings Live.
Woo! Oh, we got through the intro. Yeah, baby.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to IR Live's first official episode. I'm your host, the Wannabe host. We also have
Pablo Jalapeno.
Over on the
Leafy Green,
Blanco Basura.
Everyday Geek. And on the phone we have...
Ralph.
And today we're going to be talking about the state of Star Wars. Now, as we do ramble incoherently, we all have these bells. And if any of us decide that this is getting out of hand and we're talking over each other, then one of us can ring and I will then decide who gets to talk.
They're all
Leafy
tuned
green
different.
bell.
That's great.
So let's get started.
Hit them in order right now.
Okay, all right.
all the different tones. I
It's
love it.
kind of awesome. I like
Yeah.
it. I love it. That's great.
All right, so here we go again.
Ralph
Starting with
doesn't
Star
have a-
Wars. This is the state of Star Wars, and that means we're talking about where Star Wars is today. So let's begin.
In the trailer.
Actually, could you introduce our sponsor?
Oh,
As-
yes,
as
of course.
a whole.
Our sponsor for today's episode,
in the
we always
hole?
have a toy sponsor.
Could be a hole.
Oh,
Today's is brought to you by the new toy from Star Wars, the Force.
Force! Brought to you by Kenner, the Force. Get it now.
I'm glad
Limited
it's
edition
in a-
gold version available at Target.
I'm glad it's in a blister pack.
is that like
Otherwise, it
a,
would
is that
escape.
like a
you know.
clump of metaflorium?
It's a Band-Aid.
I like a clump better. All right.
Hey, and if you send away 4 UPC symbols, you get a free midichlorians pack.
All right, so let's get started. Let's talk about Disney. Disney bought Star Wars. I remember it was a few years ago. I was so excited.
4 years ago.
Excited? I don't know. Worried might
Right?
be.
No.
No, I
2012.
was excited because they said
6 years
episode.
ago. 6 years ago. 4 years ago, it
Of
was
course.
the...
Of course, I will say that anyone that did see it coming was, I mean, they had the Star Wars parade and all that at Disney.
Yeah,
I honestly,
before
I didn't
that,
see it as it was a concrete that it was going to happen. Just Disney and George Lucas has had a great relationship over the years.
Yeah, with Star Tours.
Well,
Yeah, and
Well,
that was through the prequels. That was
Indiana Jones.
right after Jedi and stuff.
Star Wars fans were like, Star Wars is done now. There will be no more Star Wars. So when I heard Episode 7,
Yeah.
Yeah,
I was like,
7.
yes! And then The Force Awakens came out.
and I was like, no!
No, you were like, no!
And I was
missed
like,
the
I don't know about
prequels.
Yeah, right? I didn't think it could get any worse than the prequels.
See?
this. Or the holiday special.
Or, hey, what holiday special?
right.
So let's talk about The Force Awakens, because that's actually where we wanted to go with this. We'll talk more about where Star Wars is today, because there's been much more since The Force Awakens. We've
yeah.
just been putting off this show for a really long time.
Yes, we have.
So let's start off with the fact that Force Awakens, I think all of us could probably agree that it wasn't the best Star Wars film. However, some of us have some different opinions. Anybody want to go? Go ahead, Jason.
Why is it the worst?
I wouldn't go to say...
Okay, next topic.
I wouldn't necessarily say it's the worst, but it's up
Okay,
there.
it's up there.
Definitely up there. There was no character development. You didn't feel any empathy for any of the characters. There was no, you just didn't feel anything for them. And to me, it was, there's a fine line between paying an homage to something and just completely rehashing it. And they crossed that line into the wrong
I
side.
will have to agree.
Emulation
it was
and
the
imitation.
It
went
was
too
the
far.
hey, let's get Harrison Ford back. Let's make Han Solo look kind of cool. He wanted to die anyway, so this is to bring people in, make you feel good at the Millennium Falcon's back and stuff. I think like Rey and all of them, they gain more character development in last.
You meant to
Last
say
Jedi.
Mary Sue, I'm sure.
So I mean, it's almost like
Definitely.
if they just cut out the original trilogy people, they would have been able to do more character development because they did a lot of a lot of it on Han Solo, a lot of it with Leia and stuff. So and about Luke, trying to find Luke.
Mary Poppins, Leia.
But that's a good point. But that's what makes me happy
There's a
about it
huge
is all the
thing for
connections
that.
to the original trilogy. But you've got an interesting point of view saying that if they had that out, it would have been its own movie.
Yes.
Well,
and then,
but
but then
see-
would people want to go see that?
But see,
Because
that's
here we have all these years, and people want to see.
All right, Paul, let someone else talk, please.
but see, that's what I'm saying.
Hey,
is that-
Fuck you,
that's
Daryl.
my job.
is that it really wouldn't have been its own movie because it was Star Wars again, only done worse. You know, like there was no subtlety, there was no, and when you look at Kylo Ren versus Darth Vader, right? Darth Vader didn't have to fly off the handle every moment for people to be afraid of him.
Oh, wait, Kylo Ren is the best villain ever.
Oh, please.
Bitch.
Please.
Jason doesn't like it.
Now,
very
remember
well.
when the
Kylo Ren's a
original Star
little
Wars came
bitch.
out? I mean, it was just straight up black versus white. It was evil versus
Right.
white light versus Dark
Right.
Knight.
And I have to admit, I like what Force Awakens did with that, and where the new series is going now is the idea that everything's not exactly black versus white.
Well, actually,
okay.
The Force Awakens didn't take that far enough, but The Last Jedi started going that direction.
Well, and I will say,
and Rogue One as well.
even when you go back to A New Hope, you have black versus white elements, and this is done before special
Is this a
edition.
racial movie?
You had gray. You had Han Solo was a very gray character in the original. He was very, if you want to go full on geek, he was very chaotic neutral.
Oh.
He was very selfish
He
for
was
himself.
the cowboy. I mean,
Exactly.
The
And it wasn't until the end that he was like, but that came with subtlety. He didn't have to come out and say,
Well, there's another
I'm
thing
very
too
neutral.
that's one of the things that Solo kind of trampled on is that they had to make him heroic by the end of the movie.
Yeah.
Instead of him being the scamp, like it's kind of like it neuters the character arc that he has in A New Hope, because A New Hope is about him doubting the Force and then eventually coming around and helping the rebels. But then it's like he already helped the rebels before that. So then what's A New Hope about? Why is he back to being a doubter again?
right.
So I think sometimes prequels just kind of screw
Was
up the
Alzheimer's.
canon,
He was, I think, very much a doubter in A New Hope because he needed money.
Wait, were we talking about Solo?
Yeah.
Just a
well,
moment,
it's
yeah.
a state of Star
okay,
Wars, right?
let's get
No,
that.
I'm saying because
We are all over the
Solo's
place
a
right
prequel,
Yeah, okay, I got
it kind of messes with, like, since he's already a good guy.
I got you.
Yeah,
But
right.
hold off on that because we'll get to Solo in a little bit.
All right,
Let's
all
stick with Phantom.
Oh, we're sticking with Force Awakens right now.
I said Phantom Menace.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
But
The
I went
best.
there because
The
Solo
best.
was brought up.
Okay,
so, yeah.
Force Awakens. Just let's go around each person. Just give me your favorite or least favorite part. Least favorite part.
Oh,
Most
for
favorite
you.
part. Yeah.
Starting where?
Start with me. We'll go
Okay.
with I can't.
What was your least favorite part?
Least favorite part was probably I can't think about it now. Anybody got one? Well,
Yeah.
Oh,
there you go.
the tentacle creature
Good.
thing.
On the
Yeah.
Millennium Falcon.
Yeah,
Favorite part or worst?
Oh, I know the part I didn't like.
the hentai part.
Okay, go ahead. Either one, both.
All right. A favorite part is very fanboyish is when Han Solo dies and Chewbacca gets hurt and pissed off and fires at Ren. I mean, you feel like the connection, like you just killed my friend, my brother and stuff, and it's like you just feel the emotion from Chewbacca.
Ren getting hit was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, he deserved it.
Well,
Bastard.
My least favorite part was Magic Stick Man.
Well, that's
Wait,
Rogue
no,
One.
whoa,
Rogue
That's
One.
Rogue One.
that's Rogue One.
Was it?
Yes,
Yeah.
that was
God,
Rogue
see,
One.
there's too
Magic
many
Stick
now. I
Man.
get mixed-
Whoa.
Whoa!
Debate.
We'll get to Rogue One. All right.
All right.
We'll get there eventually.
Okay, so my favorite,
My favorite part was his Kylo Ren's lightsaber. I liked that. That was very cool.
It
What
looks
about
good.
you, Blanco?
My favorite part was probably the one
The
scene
credits.
with the X-wings coming up over the water
Yeah.
when they were doing that.
That
That
was
was
cool.
really cool. My least favorite part was probably the other 2 hours of the movie.
Okay, I
Oh,
got,
so you like 38 minutes of it?
okay, I got my
guess-
favorite part.
Guess what? Wait. I don't get a chance at this?
I never went.
Oh, okay.
Oh, you can go.
Okay,
I'll
go.
last,
Go
you
ahead. No, go ahead.
You go for it.
But I'm not
It's
on the
fine.
camera.
I can sit on it.
Anyway,
Sorry about that.
my favorite
on
part actually was what some people don't like, but I love the part where they're going toward they're running towards the first ship. It gets blown up, and they're like, "No piece of junk," and they're like, "All right, piece of junk," and it's the Millennium Falcon. You're like, "Yeah!"
Yeah,
I like
And
it.
then I'm
No, nobody
immediately
wants
like,
that.
how'd that get there? Anyway,
Okay, up to you. What's your
They
favorite part?
explain that later on.
my favorite part was the trailer. And it
Yeah, that
included
was- the
the
trailer was
X-Wings
good.
and all that. My least favorite part was the actual movie because it was
Yeah.
a rehash of everything they had done before. And I'm like, Jedi's already similar enough in many ways to A New Hope.
Yeah.
And now we've got a third movie in the canon. And I don't want to even include the prequels because I don't count those. So out
Well,
of
but
the
you have
4
to.
movies,
No, you have
3
to.
of them have the same plot.
Yeah.
We don't need to redo the same plot every time.
And then if you go to Last Jedi, it's also very Return, with the throne room scene and all that. It's like, come on, dude, write your own Star Wars movie.
Well, and
just
I have to
rehash
say,
the old ones.
And I have to say, I didn't like the idea of having as much as I like the Planet Killer. What was it called? Star Killer Base.
Star Killer Base.
I like the idea of it, but yeah, it was just a bigger.
That's
And that's
Star.
exactly my problem with a lot of what's happening in Hollywood now is that we're basically like, this was like an unofficial reboot.
Yeah, you're right.
So basically what the idea was make everything bigger. Like instead of being like a moon-sized base, now it's got to be a planet with a big trench dug out of it. And this is supposed to be the remnants of the Empire. How did they do that when they're just like scrapping leftovers?
Well, there was a lot of leftovers, remember, and this is not right after Return of the Jedi.
It was a Star Wars Thanksgiving.
It was like 20 years later.
Right.
So there is a buildup.
If anyone had ever read, and I'm sure people in here have, the Timothy Zahn series, after, Heir to the Empire, all that, that to me was a much, I don't want to say plausible because, we're dealing with Star Wars here, but a much better way for it to go. But instead, Disney had to go their own way, make that non-canon, and totally, for lack of a better word, F it up.
I agree with that. And I think talking with people about this new trilogy or sequel trilogy is that the movie we wanted is 20 years too late.
Yeah.
The movie we want to see is Luke at his peak as a Jedi.
Right.
It's Han kicking
Which
ass
is what
as
the
a
books
general.
were.
It's what the books were. We wanted those in the late 90s, the 2000s.
Right.
When the prequels came out, that would have been better.
But Disney's trying to get a new audience.
Well, Mark Hamill's too old. Harrison Ford's too old. Carrie Fisher, you just can't do it.
They just want to kill them all
Mark
off now,
Hamill, Harrison Ford, he didn't mean it. You're in your prime, and we love you.
We love you. But Luke kicking major ass with a lightsaber flipping around is not plausible.
Yeah. So, worst part, I have to say for me
he's
was
not Yoda.
I was saying also the whole planet thing, but also where Harrison Ford's like, I'm gonna stop light speed right at the exact moment that we're in between the shield and the planet. I'm that good that I'm gonna switch it right on it, and I'm planning that.
He made the Kessel run in less than 12 parsecs.
That was more believable than Solo. What else didn't you like? What didn't you like? Anything? Most, I should say.
Some of the stuff like when what's his name Finn fought that the stormtrooper on the planet, and it was just kind of like, hey, traitor. It's just like,
well, and the thing is too, like,
I don't get it. Why are you gonna fight over this?
You have this brand new person that just like an hour ago found out she has the Force, right? And she's like, I'm tied up. I'm in this chair. He's going to torture me. I have no way out. Wait, I have the Force? Stormtrooper, let me out. I'm going to use my Jedi mind trick. Really? You're going to use a trick that took Luke like years to master?
Basically,
the second you find out you have the Force.
It was all too easy and too quick for certain characters to. And another thing too, a lot of characters have to have like an Achilles heel. Like, even Superman has kryptonite, and that's even kind of weak because he's such an overpowered character. But it just seemed like Rey was like good at everything. Like, she knows how to fight real well. She knows how to fly the Falcon real well. She knows how to, close and shut doors to cut tentacles off of some weird monster. She knows everything, And so she needs to have like a weakness somewhere to be more believable.
Back to the flying real well. She not just fly real well, but she can like execute complicated yaw maneuvers to like.
Yeah, she fights the Falcon like she's freaking Han. Yeah,
that reminds me. The one scene I think actually is really cool is when the TIE fighters are chasing on Jakku. And they do that little like weird flip. I know.
Oh yeah,
but they do that flip and shoot the Okay, like that's kind of like a good Star Wars action scene. It didn't make much sense, but like I don't expect Star Wars to always make sense.
Oh, you mean why? Because the turret could have just spun around instead of the whole ship.
Who cares? It looked awesome. But then why did the Batwing have to go in front of the moon and flip? Come on, like some things are for visuals.
Which I understand what you're saying, which is why is Rey. Who's a like poor junk dealer on it? How does she know how to fly anything? Is she doing that in her spare
Well,
time?
they do explain that she like got technical manuals and kind of learned that way.
Not only that,
she should have had a simulator.
Not only that, how did she learn how to fly? How did she learn how to freaking duel a Sith Lord with a lightsaber the first time?
Because she's got the Force!
But remember,
she's
she's been living on this desert planet by herself, on her own, I'm sure fighting people with her staff.
Lightsaber?
With her staff. It's the same type of weapon.
Hey, magic stick girl.
You just knocked him
There you go. There you go.
All right, why don't we move on
And
to...
she's the clone of Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Can I just reinforce one thing, that there is an argument that Kylo Ren was injured when he fought. He first fought Finn and then Rey.
Yeah.
And he was heavily
That's
injured.
why he kept on
at the time.
hitting it, so
right,
he get pissed off.
So it's
trying to get more of the.
You know what?
It doesn't make a lot of sense, but it's not the worst thing.
No, you know what? Darth Vader lost a freaking hand and was still able to fight.
But he was
That's
the chosen
BS.
one.
It's true, and he moved like a snail.
Actually, Luke might be the chosen one, maybe not now. Anyway, let's move on.
Okay,
let's
on.
skip ahead to The Last Jedi, which was an improvement.
Better.
I think we can all...
that
I think we
was
can agree.
weird.
The Last Jedi.
Hey, you know what? I just want to interject real quick. We haven't bothered to ask Ralph's opinion.
We didn't actually.
Oh my God, Ralph, you're still there?
Oh, maybe
Yes,
he's not.
I'm here.
What do you think about The Force Awakens?
It sucked.
All right, let's move on.
You don't agree with his opinion.
No,
so
actually,
let's
let
move
him
on.
expound.
All right, go ahead. You have more to explain there, Ralph?
Well, it just didn't seem like a Star Wars movie. It just seemed stupid. Like, the main cast was a black guy. Like, ooh, a black stormtrooper. Ooh.
Not that that's a problem.
There's no problem.
We got to go Seinfeld.
have issue with this.
I mean, it's not that I didn't mind it was a black
diversity.
stormtrooper. I didn't care. It's just the movie just wasn't really a Star Wars movie to me. It's
I
not
agree
like
that
4, 5,
visually-
6. I mean, one was stupid with Jar Jar, but I mean, it had a little bit of better storyline than I thought The Force Awakens. But that's just my opinion.
I think his point with
I
talking
enjoy
about-
movies a little bit better than others, but that one I did not enjoy.
Okay.
I think his
Well
point
said,
more,
Ralph.
said.
Well said.
less to the point that he was a black stormtrooper. I don't think that was his problem. I think he was more saying that he didn't have any depth to him.
I think we should just ignore that.
I think that's where he was going with that.
Oh man.
Anyway, Last Jedi.
Last question was he like a rare, the only black star?
No. There were others. They just don't show everyone. They just don't show everyone.
Lando was a stormtrooper, man. Come on, every time he walks into the canteen, he's like, "Whoa, what have we?"
As long as we're on a tangent.
You know, it's
There are more
Why
than 4
is
black
the-
people in the Star Wars universe.
One of them has an ice cream maker. You've seen that,
Oh my
right?
god.
all right.
Okay.
Moving on. Last Jedi. Okay, so Last
That's
Jedi.
the last time we asked Joe to speak. sorry, I didn't mean it.
All right,
Just kidding.
Last Jedi was an improvement and also pissed a lot of people off, and I get why. Let's just go around real quick. What the hell?
What are you doing?
All right, Daryl's like reaching in his crotch for some reason.
What's in Geek's
Something's-
pants?
Something's pinching me, man.
Star Wars gets him excited. Okay, Last Jedi. So I have to say it was an improvement. It was. I like where they. Part of me likes where they went totally unexpected, but also pissed me off because in a way because they went against the grain of the regular hero story. Where these guys did all this stuff and it was for nothing. In fact, it made matters worse. And it's like, that's not what's supposed to happen in these stories. But it was original. What do you
Not
guys
enough
started?
Captain Phasma.
Yeah,
we
used-
glossed over that. She's barely in Force Awakens, and she was supposed
Oh,
to be
by
this
the way,
big thing.
in Force Awakens, I think she gave
Yeah,
it too
they cut
easily.
out the nude scenes.
Yeah.
I was really pissed about that.
Okay, that's
This
the worst
isn't
part.
Game of Thrones, all right?
Oh, that was Game of Thrones. See, I'm getting them all mixed up.
That was the worst part in Force Awakens was where Phasma was just like, okay, I'll give you the code to blow this place up.
Yeah, let me be
You're
sure.
like, what?
And actually, there's a second thing about that. Like, Finn defects, and he gleefully blasts all the guys he was just side by side with. Remember, like, the reason why he defects is his brother in arms is injured, and, like, leaves the spear on his...
Yeah. He doesn't
And he's all upset, and then the moment he gets with Poe, he's like, all right, blast them all. I'm going to kill everyone I was friends
because
with.
of that
I also
guy.
like-
He defects because he doesn't like what they're doing.
I'd also
Right,
like to bring
right.
up the fact that
Blanco.
part of the whole thing was that, oh look, it's Luke's original lightsaber, which was Anakin's original lightsaber, that somehow we
I know.
retrieved from a gas giant after his hand was cut off and it fell to the
They
surface.
still don't explain. That's
No,
a
it
story
did,
for
it did-
another time.
Oh, it did fall out. Yeah,
Yeah.
It's supposed to be
Yeah,
a
it did
gas
fall out.
giant.
Cut his lightsaber.
Bespin is supposed to be a gas giant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, they have the cameras out there. The Ugnaughts probably saw it and like, dude,
Like, hey,
we gotta get that.
falling lightsaber.
And they threw it in the smelter.
Okay, but I mean, the Last Jedi was had a lot more.
Star Warsy.
Oh, it was more Star Wars. It also had a lot more story to it. The characters were kind of fleshed out, so that was really
And
nice.
it had Luke.
It had Luke, which was cool. Luke did good acting, but I didn't really like the way his character went because I think it was like you're saying. I wanted him to be Jedi Luke, who was just like, I'm all powerful now, instead of just like Hermit Luke, like I don't give a shit.
And they make fun of that. He makes it one of the lines is, says something in the effect of like, what am I supposed to do? Just take out my laser sword and take on the Empire?
Yeah.
Like, what is one man with a lightsaber going to do?
What do you think, Blanco? What's your idea on The Last Jedi? Because I'm not sure where you went with that.
Last Jedi, I like you said, I believe was an improvement. It still was, I mean, by no stretch of the imagination Empire. The whole Princess Leia flying through space thing was kind of lame.
I actually like that.
I liked it.
If
Loved
you
it.
ever, I was kind of weird when I remember in the theater, like,
Of course, I like Mary.
this looks weird. But if you ever
Poppin'
read
gel.
the comic,
Yeah.
right.
it totally makes it sense. Where it's
No.
like she's sitting there and she's like, I'm not going to give. I can't give up. They need me and stuff. And then that kind of like she uses the Force.
Yeah,
to
I
pull
mean,
over
in
there
the
and stuff.
books, they do go way
totally-
into like
yeah.
forced meditation where they can slow their breathing down and all that.
Yeah.
But honestly,
It looked weird though.
I
Yeah.
really
Really
I thought it was cool. I was
But-
like, yes.
But like the floating
Yep,
through
me
space
too.
is one thing, but she still can't propel herself to fly. She's not Superman.
She had gas.
You could do that with the Force,
She
though.
forgot to take her
wouldn't you?
you
beano.
could do that with the Force.
Maybe she moved
You
the ship
moved
to
things.
her.
She moved her clothes. No, she moved her clothes.
And
So-
a really,
She's like, never mind.
I said a really hard part I had was because of the time that Carrie Fisher actually died. I thought it was like, oh, this is how they got rid of her.
Right, and then
And I
she
was
came
like-
back. I was like,
I'm like, and then I'm thinking,
Yeah.
oh yeah, they actually finished filming before she died.
But actually, my least favorite part wasn't even that. My least favorite part was again they had to rehash the old movies with the redoing of the throne scene from Return.
And they basically
rehash-
summed
no,
up.
and you-
Oh,
They
I
summed
see
up the
what you mean.
prequels
That's
on the
like-
casino
I have to
planet.
all
say-
Return of the Jedi again.
Okay, but I have to say that-
all you had to do was
That's a badass
replace
fight
Rey.
scene, though.
Replace Rey with Luke.
But it was
Replace
a-
Kylo with
Yeah.
Darth Vader, and replace Snoke with.
I agree. But the fight scene was awesome.
Fight scene was good.
Where
yes,
else are they going to
That was
meet?
pretty good.
Like the cafeteria?
Huh?
Like where else are they going to meet? I mean,
No,
they got to
not
take him to
area.
Snoke. I mean, he's in a throne room. It's like we did this
No.
before. Let's go down to the break room.
Yeah, you got the vending machines, the Pepsi machine.
So I was going to say about
They're using the
coffee?
Force, throwing cans at each
You
other.
drink coffee? You want some coffee?
her pulling the ship toward her. It's like Chuck Norris push up. He doesn't just push himself up. He pushes the world
planet
down.
down.
I do.
Yeah.
I like how they did the thing where they shot the ship into the other at light speed and they took the sound out. I thought that was a nice effect because Star Wars always has sound.
Talk about a scene that was incredible, but it also kind of breaks the canon. to a degree.
yeah, it does.
Because it's like, first of all, why did nobody ever think of that before?
Yeah.
And then
Because it's suicide.
is that going to be the out from now on?
Right,
Like,
right.
and in fact, why don't they just have like ships that are like piloted by a droid or something? And
That
unless
do
the
just
droids are
that,
rebelling, they
Why don't they have
Solo.
enough gas?
Well, if you look,
First time they ran out of fuel.
if you want to go back to
yeah, that was weird too.
messing with the canon, I mean, look at
There's a
again Force
lot.
Awakens when he comes out of light speed right next to the planet,
And Rogue One when they go into light speed when the Death Star fires on the planet,
and the thing is
like from
as
atmosphere
far as
level,
as far as canon is,
right?
that's what stops hyper. You can't get that close to a planet because
And you can't do it in the atmosphere either.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Like in Rogue One.
Apparently
Exactly.
they did.
Well, why don't we move on then to?
I don't know. We didn't really
we didn't
round
go
robin.
through-
Oh yeah. Okay. Well, so what'd you like and not like? So.
So we basically got Blanco's opinion, but
Okay, go for it.
oh, it's my turn.
Go you.
All right. So I think I from the very beginning I had mixed feelings about The Last Jedi. I kind of like it because one of the things it did is it kind of destroyed the canon that The Force Awakens was building, and I thought that was a good thing. But it almost went too far because it made things like Snoke doesn't matter now, Like he's just kind of like this cast-off character. So it was kind of like flipping the bird to The Force Awakens, but it did it so much that it kind of means like I don't know what they're going to build on to make the next movie.
Yeah, exactly.
And then, that being said, I think it was a very brave movie because its primary theme was about failure, and that doesn't seem like a very Star Wars theme.
That's a very good
everybody
point.
fails.
You're right.
Even Kylo, you know, and so the thing is, it's kind of brave thematically. It has some very like Kurosawa-esque stuff, like the duel at the end. Like there are certain parts that are just amazing, and then other parts like, oh, we don't have enough hyperdrive fuel, and the other ship is just out of range and can't damage us. Like all that was kind of cringy.
Yeah.
And the casino planet was kind of cringy, you know,
Yeah.
like
And I
so
see
it's this big mix.
I
you know?
I get what you're saying because I see where they were trying to go with the whole casino thing. And it was a good idea, but you're right. It was kind of like, this is.
It felt kind of prequels.
It got a little too like real world politically, kind of trying to make a statement of the rich and poor and stuff on like the Canto scene.
Don't mind too much about that, really.
Well, I just think it's like, oh, they did it because it's 2018 or 2017.
Right.
We wouldn't have seen that in we didn't see that in the original trilogy.
I did like the ending with the kid. I thought that was a nice touch where he uses the force. Like anyone could have the force. It doesn't have to be a Skywalker, which is obviously where Disney's going.
Well, also because Rey came from nobodies.
Yeah.
Then it reinforces that whole thing.
Well, the
or
prequel.
did she?
Well, I think that they're going to go
I
towards
think
the
Abrams is
Force
gonna bring it
wielders
back.
now.
The what?
I think they're going to go towards the Force wielders now.
Oh, that would
in
be
the
awesome.
next, because they did all that in the animation, and that was one of the best parts of it.
Well, now okay, anybody else want to say anything about Last Jedi?
Harry Potter gets the Force. That's basically what it. No,
Yeah.
I don't know.
All right, so let's talk about the other side
Well,
project.
what about Pablo? You had something? Or
Oh, did you?
Like, or good or bad? Well, the Canto scene, yeah, that was a little, I thought, forced.
and also don't forget Ralph.
You're Ralph, you there?
What?
You like Last Jedi?
Remember, there weren't very many. No, never mind.
You like Last
I'm not gonna
Jedi?
go
There was 3 black people in it.
Oh gosh.
He did.
Yeah, The Last Jedi was fun. I had no problem with The Last Jedi.
What did you think of
I'm
Rose?
not focusing on black people here. I'm just saying that was kind of like the focus of the first damn Force Awakening. Like,
We know that you
talking
just
about that.
You just kind of misspoke a little, but it sounded like.
He doesn't want to be James Gunn.
Yeah, right.
All right, so let's move on to what they've done outside, starting with the movie. So we have 2 spin-off movies in the saga. So we have the first one, which was
Rogue One.
Rogue One, and then we have Solo. So let's start with Rogue One. I think we can all mostly agree that was pretty awesome.
That's one of my
was
favorite Star
not bad.
Wars.
That was
I think
probably
that's
the
up there,
best one of
not
all
as
of
good
them,
as
I
Empire.
thought. Of all the new
Go ahead,
movies
Joe.
that came out, I thought Rogue One was the best.
All right, go ahead.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Pablo.
I agree with that. Of the new ones that came out, I think it was the best. I like it better than prequels, and it's up there for me, probably better than Jedi.
I'd have to go with that. I think so too.
I'd put it right next to number 2.
It's almost an
Oh, you're
extension.
high.
To me, it's almost an
No,
extension.
not
of-
episode 2. I don't mean
Empire.
Empire?
I'm talking about
That's-
Empire.
yeah.
Oh, you're high.
I'm talking about
Yeah,
you're high.
that's
Really
no,
good
that's too
character
much praise.
development, and it's like at the end you're like, oh yeah, dude,
That's
this
what I
will
thought
have
you
to die. The sequel to Rogue One, that was pretty good.
Yeah.
Well,
May-
Well, Rogue
Wait, what?
One.
Oh, the sequel? Oh, got it. Took me a while.
Yeah. Rogue One, I will say, it did have its faults, like, any movie's going to, but again, like has been stated earlier, it's definitely, I think, the best of the new ones. That's where your Magic Stick Man comes in, brother.
Yeah.
Could I?
I'm straight
If
on
you're
that
done.
now.
If you're done.
Well, I think, and I will say that you could tell, but it was incredibly well done. Was the CG for like Peter Cushing and Carrie Fisher?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
that was incredible.
Cushing was
that was kind of.
Oh
amazing.
yeah, because I remember.
huge surprise.
Yeah,
of
I remember
how much he
watching
was
it.
in
That-
there.
And they
Wow.
showed
Like,
showed the
wow.
back of his head when he was talking, and I was like, "Oh, okay, this is how it's gonna
Right,
be."
right.
Yeah.
right.
And then he turned around, and I was
You
like,
may
"What the
render
hell?"
when ready.
Yeah.
So that was pretty cool.
And they did not win the special effects for that because it was too good.
Yeah.
Most
They
people
didn't
didn't even
know it.
know it was a special effect.
Yeah, it wasn't like
But-
de-aged Professor X from X-Men.
Right.
No. Hey,
Oh, what's that? What's
I got
that?
even better.
Wolverine.
I got even better.
What?
It wasn't Flynn from Tron
Oh,
2.0.
yeah.
I actually don't think
Oh,
Flynn's
yeah.
that terrible.
But remember, that technology is. I mean, it
Yeah.
all starts with the Rock in the Mummy Returns, right?
Yeah.
That's where it
my gosh.
started. That was the beginning. It started from
Well, that
that.
wasn't trying to de-age him. That was just trying to turn him into a scorpion centaur. A scorpion
We've
centaur.
come a long way since the Mummy Returns.
I think my biggest problem.
I think Scorpion Centaur's a new band. I don't know about that.
I think my biggest problem, aside from Magic Stick Man with Rogue One, was simply that, everyone made this big deal about, oh, you have this giant impenetrable fortress, but you can't plug up a 2-meter hole. And so they had to go out of their way to explain. Oh, well,
I thought that was fantastic.
No,
I thought that was awesome too.
You know what? For me, that whole 2-meter exhaust port was just that. It was just an exhaust port.
Yeah.
It's something that you don't like. If someone fired a proton torpedo down this, it's just something that.
And there's another thing about prequels.
Fanboys.
Well, how prequels kind of mess with the continuity of the other movies. Like, remember, it was supposed to be a 1 in a million shot. So this guy's plan to sabotage the Death Star was to make something so hard to hit.
Yeah,
it's a 1 in a million shot.
Maybe that's all he can do.
Maybe.
Okay.
It was the best he could do.
To hide
Yes,
it
he could do.
from
Yeah.
Vader.
But what a
Oh,
plan,
wait, who
though.
said it was a 1 in a million shot? Wasn't that just one of those?
No, that was
X-Men
just
guys?
Han. He's a big
was a
shot
1
kid. That was 1 in a million.
Yeah,
But it was also like, remember there's but there's doubtful
in the
guy.
very beginning when they're going over the layout and what you have to do, even Biggs or
There's
Wedge
no
is-
way you could hit that.
Wedge
Not
is
even
like,
with the
"There's no way
targeting
you can hit
computer.
Yeah, but I can hit Walrath with T-16 back home.
Not even a
That's
computer
right.
can hit a target that size.
They don't know what they're talking about.
So,
And by the way, I think
so-
that guy also said, if they take away my diabetes, I'll die. Right?
No, that was
Kale
Porkins.
That
about
was Porkins.
Magic
Okay.
Stick Man.
They had to pour him. into the
Yeah.
actual-
Cliffy.
But anyway, so that was my biggest problem, was that I always just kind of looked at it as it's just an engineering flaw. It was just something that was put in
All right.
because the reactor has to.
It has to exhaust. Yeah, it makes sense.
Well, we disagree. We liked it.
I said
funny
diabetes
too.
instead.
Well, you
All
can
right.
disagree even
My
if you
bad.
are wrong.
Yeah, well, whatever. Okay, Leafy.
But,
Leafy,
Yes.
tell us about Magic Stick Man and why you like him so much.
No, why I liked him so much.
Why do you not like?
I just
why don't
thought
you
his
like
whole
the handicap?
premise of all of it?
why don't you like Asians, Kale? No, I'm just kidding.
Boy, it just had to go there, didn't it?
No, I mean, there have only been 2 Asian characters in Star Wars, and both of them have gotten a lot of flack from the public, but
Really?
not
Yes.
that there's a problem
Rose,
with
yeah.
that. Yeah, Rose.
Personally,
Oh, right,
in
right.
real life, yeah.
Was it because they were Asian
I
they
thought
got
she was
flack,
Arabian.
or no?
It was mainly because
Partly
their
the
character
character,
was
yeah.
not very
Well done.
well done, and they just attacked her and went after her.
I'm sorry, I interrupted Leafy.
So, Magic Stick Man.
Those
No,
are trolls.
I was
Yeah,
just
they're
saying that, he, with his abilities, he was could have wiped everybody out, and he didn't do shit.
Hey, no, the Force would
okay.
have
In
been
all
cool with
fairness,
that.
he did shoot down a TIE fighter with a magic stick.
Yeah, that was a
So you can't say he didn't do shit.
Come on,
Yeah.
not possible.
All right, so Rogue One, though, pretty good.
Well, I haven't done my opinion yet.
God, there's that geek guy again. Want some time? All right, go.
All right. So Rogue One, I thought was pretty good. Part of the problem with it, though, is that it seemed a lot like Attack of the Clones, where it jumped from planet to planet to planet. So I kind of got lost with that a little bit. It seemed like it was poorly paced. And then the characters were kind of thin. But then again, it was played like a war movie, which is kind of a cool direction. And I think if they're going to continue making Star Wars movies at a rapid pace, that's probably one of the best ideas, is to branch out genre-wise. The side movies should maybe be other things. There's a heist movie and there's a war movie and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Or the numbered movies like episodes 7, 8, 9
Heist
can be
movie.
part of the
Solo.
new epic. But play with the genres a bit, I think.
Oh, yeah, play with
Kind of
it.
like what Firefly
Stroke
did.
it.
Play with those genres. Yeah.
And the thing
Nip it,
too,
pinch it.
like Geek was saying earlier about prequels always kind of messing with the canon. You watch A New Hope, and they catch the blockade runner, right? And he gets a hold of Princess Leia, and he's like, several transmissions were beamed aboard the ship. It's like, no, I saw you.
Yeah,
I saw you throw them over there. You're not hiding shit. I saw you. I was right there.
Nice investigation, Snowden.
That's funny.
Yeah,
I didn't even
exactly.
think about that. You handed it to him.
Yeah.
I watched you leave with them. Don't be
think about
He's like, don't piss on my boots and tell me it's raining. I saw you.
think about Leia's giant balls when she's all like, "We're on a diplomatic mission that just escaped from your damn interceptor."
I just ran away from you. No, that wasn't me. That was someone else.
I'm sure you haven't lost sight of us, but yeah.
It's like every cop's
Diplomatic
episode.
mission
That
by
wasn't me.
ass.
Yeah, and then just like takes off her clothes and runs.
Now, I do want to interject here that scene when they had the tape
Right.
and they're running through there, and then Vader's lightsaber ignites and he kicks ass in
Oh,
it.
it was badass.
That was cool.
So that was just like
That was really cool.
We've never seen Vader kick some ass.
was-
Let's just put it in.
Yeah.
Let's just put it in.
But then, continuity-wise, what the hell is he doing in A New Hope? You know, like,
Yeah, well,
Well,
I'm
you know
fighting.
what?
technology went backwards.
Actually, have you seen that scene where somebody redid the Obi-Wan and Vader fight? And it's pretty awesome.
Okay.
They just did a
I
little
didn't
bit
see
of a
that.
few cuts and computer programs in,
Yeah.
and it makes it pretty awesome.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Anyway, so let's move on to Solo, which didn't do very well in the theaters, and I thought was.
I
really
was
good.
surprised because it was good.
It was really good.
You know what
Well,
part
I
of it
will
is?
say
Yeah.
that the
Right.
Maw was done. It was
That
done-
was
it
the
was-
worst part.
Yeah,
The Maw? What,
Yeah, it's
What's the Maw?
During the Kessel Run?
the big
giant-
monster.
Oh, yeah.
the,
Like they had to throw something in there.
yeah. That's
Yeah.
not how the Maw. I mean, well, again, if you're going through canon before, that's not how the Maw is. But
Expanded universe.
yeah,
Was that Darth Maul? Or So what I was going to say about Solo, in my opinion, I thought it was like one of the better newer Star Wars movies because it actually
one, Howard?
felt Star Wars.
Yes.
Like it was fun.
Yes.
Yeah.
yeah,
It was kind of lighthearted in a way.
yeah.
It had some missteps here and there, but I really came out of it feeling like, wow, that really felt like a Star Wars movie.
Yeah.
It's a feeling I hadn't had in a long time.
No, a feeling you haven't had since.
Since 1983.
So, and I think what maybe probably went wrong with this is that this was really for the Star Wars fan. This was a movie for the original Star Wars fan, and they were just kind of done. They were like, Solo.
Well,
oh come on,
Last
really?
Jedi had so much flack.
Yeah.
And people were like, oh, it's
Well, I think
because
part of
Last
it is
Jedi was split down the middle of like suck
Yeah.
and really bad. And a lot of those trolls were from Russia.
That's true.
That came
That
out.
is
A lot of
true.
They
those
hacked
fake-
Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah, and they did all that. And in Disney's wisdom, they brought out Solo the week after Infinity Wars
Right,
and before Deadpool 2.
Well, and the thing about
Perfect.
Solo is again, like Geek had said earlier, is that like the whole reason you fell in love with Solo was because he wasn't that I'm real good or I'm real bad kind of character. And by the end of Solo, it was like, well, why did he go back to be? He's already proven himself to be this guy that wants to be the hero.
Yeah.
When
Well-
clearly that's not who he was.
He was jaded by a woman.
Ah, damn women.
Yeah. And then he turned into a smuggler. I mean, here's the thing. He's like,
You
he goes to Tatooine, and then he's hooking up
Absolutely.
with Jabba the Hutt. So, I mean, that could change your
Yeah,
I'm
hooking
speaking
up
for
with
him.
Jabba.
Oola.
Bakachina.
Oola.
Oola.
So,
That's not Oola. What do you think, Ralph?
so if I may interject before,
please,
just
interject.
right before Ralph, I think Solo is part of why it didn't do well. It's the product of like Star Wars fatigue because like
Yeah.
once a year is a little too much, more than likely. And then the other aspect of it is, I think like a lot of people going in, like before I saw the movie, I had doubts about what's the guy's name who played. I just had doubts he could pull
Yeah.
off the Han Solo role, and he turned out to be pretty good. And also, Lando was really good. I should get the actors' names.
Oh,
and
that's,
stuff. Darn
oh,
it.
crap.
Well, I also think
I wasn't prepared.
I also think the forced modification of the Millennium Falcon was kind of lame too, where it came out as like one piece, and then he like hits it and bumps that piece off, and like
Yeah, it's
that's
the
what
escape
skills
pod.
are there. Yeah.
Well, wasn't that like Lando's like
His
love,
yacht or
his
whatever,
love
yeah.
yacht or something? I did like him Solo when there was the fire and she takes his cape and he's like, oh no, that's like an expensive collectible cape or something.
So it's Alden Ehrenreich played Solo, and
Here, splash some Colt 45 on
who's
it.
the other one? Donald Glover.
There
played
you
Lando.
go.
Yeah.
Yeah, there we go. Okay.
So also I like how they put the brain in the Millennium Falcon, which is kind of cool because they made it sort of
I don't know if I like that so much.
You didn't? I
Well,
think,
It does hint a little on Empire.
Yeah, it does. Where it says, "I don't know where your ship learns to speak or
Yeah.
whatever," but
Very
yeah.
peculiar
well, and it
dialect.
gives the Millennium Falcon kind of a
personality, which even from a
But
New
it didn't
Hope,
need that.
well, no, because
personality.
even from A New Hope to Return, you kind of get the idea that it does have like a kind of
Yeah.
personality.
It didn't need it, but it was fun to put it in, I think, for
Yeah.
geek.
But-
This is like for fanboy stuff.
It's like his nav drive is pissed off to be working for him.
Yeah,
It's kind
Exactly,
of funny.
yeah.
And a former potential love slave of Lando.
right.
Kind of odd. And by the way, I cut off Ralph. So Ralph, your solo thoughts, please.
I enjoyed it. It was a decent movie for me. I really didn't have any complaints about it. My roommate did, but
What'd your roommate say? It's not true.
well, he's not here right now, so I can't really ask him.
Oh,
Well,
Just a general idea, I guess.
what number?
Well, he just didn't like the movie overall. He just thought it was stupid. That was his general consensus.
Well, yeah, that's another one that's kind of split. You either loved it or you hated
forgot
it.
the
There's very
subscribers.
little like gray area with
I
it.
think if you were a Star Wars fanboy type feel, the movie touches you
In
many ways.
No one else has touched you.
In many ways.
You just look it up on.
But I
YouTube.
think as the years go on, that more and more people
I was
are
talking
going to
about.
appreciate Solo.
Yeah.
No, I think it's gonna. I agree with that too. Now, what about the directions it's going in other ways? Like, first of all, Clone Wars. For anyone who hasn't seen Clone Wars, is awesome.
That
It starts off
series
is
really
fantastic.
slow,
Very
and
kiddie.
very kiddie, but you've got to stick with it. And if you watch it in the proper order, it's even better. Not the order it was actually published. And
And
they
Rebels.
Rebels is
well,
very-
hold on. First of all, they cut off Clone Wars halfway through what Disney bought. Now they're bringing it back next year, which is going to be awesome. So they're going to wrap it up. Also, Rebels season 2.
Yeah.
Oh, so good.
I will
Season 1 and 3 are okay.
I will say this about Clone Wars. I did like Clone Wars. I watched Clone Wars all the way through, but the Jendy Tartovsky ones were so much better.
The what?
Oh, the original.
Yeah,
The ones from
the little
002.
15-minute ones that
Yeah.
that Jendy,
the cartoon
the guy that
cartoon
did
ones,
Samurai Jack and
I don't know.
Dexter's
I've
Lab
seen
and all
those.
that.
They're little tiny
Yeah, they're like
snippets
15
the first season.
15
the
I don't
first
think I've
season,
seen
the second
those.
season was more
Before
longer
Clone
ones.
Wars came out,
But go
and you
ahead,
get the
look it
idea
up.
that the clones are like truly badass.
Look it up on there
Like
so you can play it.
they're a honed military unit.
And then the Clone Wars, well, mainly the animated, the CGI
Well, you
ones.
just tell me
To
about
me,
Oh, here.
that's the prequels.
Yeah,
To me, was it, and that made the prequels better.
Yeah.
So when I watch,
I agree.
if I watch, whatchamacallit, Revenge
Attack
of the
of the
Sith or
Clones
Attack of the
or-
Clones,
yeah.
it's like, okay, it makes sense.
Rex, Cody, like yeah, you totally ties it in and makes it better.
Yeah.
Lizard monster. Oh wait,
But now nobody here has seen the new one. Resist was it?
I haven't watched Resistance yet, and Resistance is the new animated series on Disney. It's on Sundays at 10 o'clock at night.
Resistance.
And it takes place right before Force Awakens. It's
Yeah.
the building of the Resistance, Poe and
48 is one.
the
Really?
Resistance Force.
Okay.
I haven't watched it yet. The animation is in that like
Wait, it's only 40
Spider-Man,
seconds long?
Spider-Verse,
No,
that new
starts-
movie coming
yeah.
out. Very
and that kind of
Like
Iron Man, I think,
comic,
was
Oh,
like that or
yeah.
something. Like that.
kind of
Yeah.
comic booky taken to
Yeah.
yeah.
So and
47 seconds long.
Clone Wars and Rebels was directed and created by Dave Filoni,
Yeah.
who's fantastic. He knows Star Wars. He knows what that was his idea.
Yeah.
You see it in him. And this Resistance, he's not on a director. I think he's more of a producer or something like that, not involved in the writing and all that. So I haven't got into it yet.
Well,
And Ralph,
again,
if you
my
say
whole-
something, your volume's down, just FYI, because I'm doing something here.
my whole like again
Oh, yeah, I guess
another
you're good.
problem I had
Okay.
with the Force Awakens was that they had
Your
to
volume's back up.
go with this whole resistance and new order thing, and like you don't got to change it, just keep, you know what I mean, like the Empire doesn't have to
And
come
they
to new order.
decimated, like Last Jedi, they decimated what was the part of Resistance.
Yeah.
The whole Rebel Alliance now, or whatever they are
Well,
now, it fits in the Millennium Falcon.
Yeah,
in the
pretty much.
Force, yeah,
Two bathrooms.
in the Force Awakens, there is the Republic and the Resistance, and by the end of the Last Jedi,
It's the
everybody
Millennium
that's
Falcon.
against the bad guys can fit in the Millennium
There's
Falcon.
that 80s band, The New Order.
The new one.
Right?
Real quick, Daryl and I have been trying to get this up. This is the reimagined fight between Darth Vader and Obi-Wan.
And by the way, this title is not meant to disparage this. We thought we were going to play clips from the new movies, perhaps. That's why it says fanfic nonsense. But here we go.
Yeah, this is actually pretty cool.
All right.
So imagine if this was just put into Star Wars.
Is this the right one?
Yeah, I think so.
Nice rendering.
But now I am the bastard. See, it would be cool to edit this in with Star
You
Wars.
definitely are the bastard. Who's knocking?
See, that would have been much better.
That is pretty cool.
Yeah, that was
I like
definitely
that.
better. I had
Disney
seen
should
that.
take that and put it into New
Yeah, because the old movies haven't been effed with enough.
right?
I know. Add one more thing.
Han shot first, damn it.
Oh my gosh.
Always.
That is the worst thing right there.
So, by the way,
That was egregious.
I just saw on the news today that Disney is making a whole bunch of new cartoons for youngins to bring in the new Star Wars people. So we'll see how that ends up going.
Cool.
All right, so I think we're about at a point where we can start wrapping up. Is there any other part of Disney we haven't? Oh well,
There's
first
a
of all,
lot.
the coolest part probably for us in the real world is that when we go to Disneyland in a couple of years, we can go into the Star Wars
Next
universe.
summer.
Next summer, really?
Yes.
Well, let's
next
be
summer.
realistic. None of us are going to get in there, or want to be in there with the crowds that's going to pull in.
Oh, we're getting in there.
No, I'm going to be in Scandinavia.
Yeah. What? All right.
I'll go see it at
they're
Tokyo
adding-
Disney.
Something to
Okay, so let's just.
California Adventure,
That too.
or is it just the main park?
Big part. It's Star Wars.
Park.
It's where the World of Tomorrow used to be.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, where right in back of north of Frontierland.
Yeah.
It had like the back area,
The petting zoo.
petting zoo, and all that. They
Yeah.
took all that area way back there and made and then the parking
What
area.
attractions are they taking out then?
None.
No,
It was
they
just
just
land.
have
Oh, wow.
Yeah, they took out like
Okay.
freaking.
So there's still going to be Space Mountain and a Starcade
Oh, yeah.
and a People Move. Oh,
It's on the other side of the park.
Too soon.
Sorry,
Too
too
soon.
soon.
Sorry about the People Moving.
Okay, let's go around and just, in like 30 seconds, your opinion on the state of Star Wars.
This is how you ended the thing where we're talking about if you were the owner of MoviePass.
Yeah, what would you?
Okay, 30 seconds. That's good. I like that.
Okay, you are the owner of Disney. No. Just what is your personal opinion on the state of Star Wars? I'll start off.
MoviePass can suck it.
I would say that somebody's a little bitter. I would say that I'm very glad Disney bought it to keep Star Wars alive. I'm glad it's out there so much. And for me, Star Wars has always been not just one movie, but the saga.
The payback's a bitch. No, keep going. I'm just kidding.
Anyway, so even though some of the individual pieces of what Disney's doing isn't great, I'm very happy that the saga is expanded. Pablo?
I like where it's going in the
said?
sense because we all lived through the dark times. We lived from 85 to 97, right? Where there was absolutely nothing Star Wars. We were waiting to see Indian in the cupboard because Darth Vader was in that cupboard, and we got to see a little action from Darth
And the
Vader.
dark times started again
Now,
in 99.
That being said, there's a buttload of Star Wars out there. It is a little bit of fatigue, and I've experienced that myself. But I've noticed as more things come out, the more I enjoy the original trilogy, because maybe because I'm older, it's more nostalgic and stuff, so I'm kind of gripping to that more. But I'm happy where it's going and seeing where our kids, where our next generation can experience Star Wars. I don't want it to die. I want it to keep going forward and at least be alive in some way, shape, or form.
All right, let's go over to Blanca and Leafy.
Go for it.
Well, for me, it's always like you get that old grizzled rock star that's fallen apart at the seams, and you thought, man, he should have stopped doing shows years ago. And you want to go out when you're on top, and you don't want to just keep dragging it through the mud. And I was very excited when I heard Disney was going to continue the Star Wars, but at the same time I was also very skeptical. And it's like, I don't know, I think
Get off my lawn!
yeah. They could have gone a much better way with it, but like Pablo said, it is good that it is continuing, I guess, and bringing on for that next generation. But
The Mandalorian's TV show.
Yeah,
Jon Favreau's making.
But classics will never go away. They'll always be in your heart forever. And you don't have to bring new content, and which can upset the old and ruin the old. But
So, dude, why do you have to bring up Metallica? Anyway.
sorry, man.
Ozzy.
Hey,
From
in
Ozzy's
fairness,
still
Ozzy's
kicking,
doing
man.
his farewell tour
Cher.
again.
Share.
Yeah.
from Booger. Preach it, Blanco.
Preach. Definitely.
All right, Leafy,
All
what
right.
are you saying?
Just because I have to beat a dead horse to death, that I had a conversation with Joey before even episode 1 came out, and I said, they're going to make tons of movies and TV shows about this. The only thing I was wrong about, I thought it would happen after Lucas's death. But
That's
I knew
right,
they were
you
going to
did say that.
I knew they were going to do all of this, and I'm very happy about it because I love Star Wars.
Nice. All right, Geek, what do you say?
BattleTech the movie. I'm in.
Yes.
Robot Jocks
If Sony
2.
ever makes the Robotech movie, I am
Back
in.
in the strap.
So what I have to say about the Star Wars stuff is I didn't care much for the prequels. I didn't care much for the sequels. And some of the offshoot movies like Rogue One and Solo are kind of cool. So I'm a big believer in this thing called headcanon, which is basically like, I don't care what's...
cheese.
Yes, exactly no, it's not.
No, it's not.
I don't care what the official canon is, but like, there's nothing after Terminator 2, mind you. There's nothing after Aliens, right?
Exactly.
And the Star Wars is basically episode 4, 5, and 6 with a little Solo and Rogue One mixed in. Okay? And that's
Don't
it.
forget
Like,
Predator.
no matter
Nothing
how
after
they
Predator
screw
2.
with things.
Predator 2?
Hell yeah, Predator 2. Gary Busey, dog.
Give me Gary Busey on that.
My turn. Hello.
Sorry.
Let Geek go.
So I agree. This is along the lines of Paul's sentiments. Is that like no matter what they come up with or what they do to our beloved franchise, you can't take away the original trilogy. It lives forever. It remains unaltered in my own mind by these
Or
other
online.
movies, right? And that's what it comes down to. Like it didn't destroy my childhood. These things just added some things I'm going to ignore, but my childhood is still
that's a
there.
good way of looking at it.
Right.
Get off my
A lot of
lawn.
content to take
That
in.
too.
All right.
Ralph?
So,
Ralph?
yes, Ralph, of course. Ralph?
Yeah, that's me.
Leave
Yeah,
race
yeah,
out of it, please.
What do you
Do
think
you
about?
want my opinion? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, like 30 seconds
How do
to
you
sum
feel
it
about
up.
it?
Up.
Yeah.
I'm good with what y'all said. I'll take a little bit of each of what you said
Okay.
and
Cool.
put it in my own.
All right.
There you go.
A little,
smoke
little
it.
buffet.
Okay, why don't we finish up with what you would like most for Disney to do if you had a choice? Anybody? What would you like if you were in charge of Disney and you could have them do anything? What would you want them to do?
Oh, now we
with
get
Star
to be the
Wars?
I want
Rockefellers.
another
Yeah.
movie like Empire. I want a dark movie like Empire from
There
Disney.
you go.
But
Well, Jedi kind of went
Last
down.
Jedi was a little bit like that.
Yeah.
And
Although they
Rogue
did
One.
celebrate at the
Rogue One
end.
was,
But
Rogue One was pretty
not
dark
like
too.
Empire.
Yeah.
No,
Empire
No, it
was
wasn't.
the darkest of dark in my book, and I loved it. And I wish Disney would go that route, but they're too princessy
Yeah.
in my book. So
Yeah, they need to
yeah.
go that way. And with the Force wielders, that whole arc there with all of that and the Sith Temple and all of that.
Yeah.
Got to do it.
Okay.
yeah,
Anyway.
I want them to build more on the dark side and show that world.
Darth Maul
No.
will return.
I want to
You
show
know,
them.
planets of dark malls and shit. I don't care.
Planet Hulk.
There is.
I want them to show Boba Fett blowing the shit out of the Sarlacc pit and climbing out.
Yeah. With a big neck.
I'll vote for that one.
Yes.
I'll vote
And he
for
should look
that.
like Jason when he emerges.
Yeah.
Ah!
There's so much.
And like
they're doing
eating the
that-
tentacles.
I don't know.
All right.
I'd like to see
Wannabe,
the
we're out of control here.
original trilogy, unaltered, out on Blu-ray.
Yep. That would
Nice.
Oh yeah, like the restoration that they're doing online. There's that unofficial.
Yeah.
Like-
Shoot. Check
Because
it
that
out.
is a big BS thing that like Lucas buried the original edits
Yeah.
when he came out with the
Well, you
special
also got to
editions.
remember. Well, it might come out now. Now that they own 20th Century Fox, is for the longest time they couldn't because 20th Century Fox owned the original version of Star Wars, so they couldn't remaster that.
Interesting. All right, so, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us for our first episode Join us next time when we have a new topic. So this is
And what topic is that topic be?
the Wannabe host and
Pablo Jalapeno.
Blanco Basura.
And the Everyday Geek, and you can find our website at IamRambling.com and our links below.
And
Back
Ralph.
to
Ralph.
and Ralph.
Say bye.
all right, let me do the closeout here. Thanks again. Thanks for listening. You can now stop at the open air. Listeners should put their lightsabers back in their upright positions and resume traditional trilogy. Find us on IamRambling.com for access to all of our rambles, shows, and General Leah.
General.
My
And
lightsaber's in the upright position.
From Incoherent Ramblings. Oh, I bet it is. Like us on Facebook and rate us on iTunes. So long, and thanks for all the Star Wars.
You asked him to rate us on Star. Never mind.
Don't rate us.
Brought to you by The Force.
Oh no. Oh no, the
A new
Force.
suppository by Lucas.
What?
That invisible force that binds all living things together.
Bind to penetrate. Wait a minute.
Penetrates you.
Sounds like a night with my uncle.
Like a tentacle monster on the Millennium Falcon.
I'll give you something to penetrate.